Hi, everybody. We're back with another episode of the podcast. And honestly, this is kind of becoming one of the highlights of our week. I mean, when we were doing 2 podcasts a week, we enjoyed ourselves. But the fact that it was kind of spread out a little more, I think it felt a little bit more like a treadmill. The once a week thing, we build up so much commentary about news and adventures that we've had and so much stuff. We want to share it so much with you guys. So we're thrilled that you're here. Thanks for being back with us. We have lots of news up front. Actually, a really, really good topic Tuesday, some car debates, car conclusions, questions from you guys. We have all of it in this. We have to dive right in.
Yeah.
We've just gotten back from a cool press launch.
I was just going to say, tomorrow drops the film for the 2026 RAV4. So we just drove that. We were at the press event in Arizona, and thank you, Toyota, for funding that, for flying us out, hotels, meals, providing the cars, everything. And so that was a lot of fun to go out there and drive the new RAV4, 2026 RAV4. It's big news for them, so we were just there. And that video, that review from us, again, comes out tomorrow on this channel.
Yes, it does. Now keep in mind, that means tomorrow, Wednesday the 22nd, is RAV4 day. So your feed is going to be bombarded with RAV4 videos. We did one unique to us. We thought about the fact that what you know us for is comparisons, so we did something very unique to us. It's not just a test drive, it's more than that. So we're very excited for you to be right back here watching that tomorrow. We're going to drop that right as soon as the embargo lifts with everybody else on the planet. But it was a huge event in Arizona, and they had, I think, more cars at that event than I've ever seen as far as like available cars. They had so many.
Well, this is a bestseller for, the single bestseller for Toyota. Yes. And so they treated it with a lot of waves of journalists, and they put eyes on, and they had a lot of people from Japan, a lot of engineers fly over for this event because this is a very big deal, very big launch for them. So watch for that. We're looking forward to sharing, and hopefully you enjoy that because we certainly did. So
we have a bunch of really cool comparisons happening between now and early January of next year that we already have either filmed or about to be filmed like the next week or so. So we've been stacking content up because the weather is starting to turn here in Park City, so we have to be ahead of that. So we have a bunch of stuff coming. I'm so excited about so much of the stuff we have coming. I mean, we got done with our cool Coda road trip series. Thank you to all of you that interacted with that. Share that if you like road trips. Just share that with somebody else. But all these comparisons coming up as well, of course, in addition to this podcast, which is every Tuesday. So thank you for being with us. We're going to jump into news that is unexpected, that got covered a lot. But first off, I want to talk about, there are a lot of, still in the U.S., still a lot of really great craftsmen out there that make amazing things, that make things I couldn't begin to make. Okay, and one of them that we just discovered because of car news, stay with me, is a Cut Above Buckles. CutAboveBuckles.com is a company based in southern Utah, so even close to us. So there's a lot of connective tissue here. And what they make is they make custom belt buckles, like the big belt buckles you see for rodeo. They make custom ones. If you go to their site, the craftsmanship's incredible, right? Yeah. They do like handmade stuff that is unbelievable. However, it connects to cars, and I cannot believe this is actually a thing, but it connects to cars. It's the Truckle. The actual word, like they're selling this called the Truckle. I've got the website on the screen, a Cut Above Buckles. And look, again, the craftsmanship's fine here. It is already sold out for $200 a piece. I'm going to read right off the website. The first ever Ford key fob locker buckle. Finally, we've connected the word truck and buckle with the Truckle. Finally, it's happened. Lock it up, truckle up, then giddy up and go do some truck stuff. The Truckle, trademark by the way, is limited edition key fob locker at Cut Above. It's a combination of Cut Above and Ford Motor Company to honor 50 years of the Ford F-150 legacy. I just can't believe this exists. I love the hat, by the way. It's very good.
Only Stetson.
The Truckle TM, is built by master buckle maker, rodeo legend, and lifelong Ford truck customer Andy Andrews. It will house any universal Ford fob from 2018 and onward. What they've really done here is you can wear a belt buckle that, of course, it has the Ford F-150 on it. It's celebrating the F-150 from 1975 to 2025, 50 years of the Ford F-150. Here's the crazy thing. Behind it, everybody, is your actual Ford key fob. It is hidden on the back side of the buckle. So what this means is we're going to have old cowboys hip thrusting toward their Ford pickup. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's what's happening. You're going to watch a cowboy walk up to his Ford F-150 and hip thrust. It's going to be the most action he's gotten in a while.
Never want to see that.
Never want to see that, but it's going to happen. So if somebody sees you wearing the Truckle, again, thank God, We've combined truck and buckle. If somebody sees you wearing a Truckle, they know that you are a Ford F-150 lover, and they actually could steal your belt and steal your truck. That's also a real thing. But I can't believe this exists. I can't believe it's sold out. They say, hold your horses because more are coming. Talk about leaning into an idea. They have leaned in. I don't even know what to say except the Truckle exists, everybody. This was on Car News this week.
The Truckle.
Truckle.
It's perfect.
It is. It is perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since we've heard the Wrangler voice. That was fantastic.
I just, I can't believe this exists. So there seemed to be no other proper voice to get that done correctly.
Wow. Well, in other news, Cadillac has decided that they are no longer going to be producing the Blackwings, the CT5V Blackwing and the CT4V Blackwing. Two of the best cars, I guess. Two
of the best sedans. We're headed toward the topic that we've got coming, which is good family cars.
Have been discontinued, except Cadillac has confirmed that the CT5 will eventually be replaced by a next-generation vehicle with a gas-powered engine, which I would like to think they'd do a next generation, and that will continue on, hopefully. They'll at least give us a gas-powered with a manual transmission, because at that point, they would almost stand alone in the marketplace globally.
Just about. They are one of the only ones offering a four-door real sedan with good dynamics, front engine, rear drive manual transmission. They're almost by themselves there, and the fact that this is going away is definitely a loss for all of us that like any of the things I've just mentioned. If they bring it back with a gas powertrain, which they say they're going to, let's hope it also means a manual. I'm also holding out hope that the next Corvette's going to be a manual. But anyway, GM's heard. Let's just see if they act. It'd be good. In other sedan-related news, I guess, Lexus, as we've heard, we've talked about recently on the podcast, Lexus LS is being discontinued. Now, this is the car that put Lexus on the map, their big LS sedan.
Right.
Which seems like a really big loss. But there's a lot of Tokyo-related motor show and all this kind of stuff going on in the next few weeks, all right? Announced ahead of that, Toyota has said they are going to put the Century brand, which has Toyota history, above Lexus. And the concept here is that it's going to actually be super luxurious and above the Lexus. There was an SUV that they dropped at one of the other Japanese motor shows that was very boxy and super luxurious. This is actually a picture that I'm showing of the super nice interior, like they do with some of the vans that you've seen over there that are really nice. It's that kind of stuff.
That's right.
The press materials are talking about freeing up Lexus to be Lexus, which whatever that means. But the concept here is this is chasing Rolls, Bentley, the Maybach versions of the S-Class. This is what they're going up market. And all of their taglines are one of one. They're trying to make hyper luxurious, super customized, wildly nice vehicles for the right buyer.
Yeah, I've got a thought on this, and that is because Lexus has become almost synonymous with motorsports now. Toyota does racing, but because the Lexus brand has not devolved is the wrong word. They've actually embraced motorsports, and they're very successful at it, trying to do a high-end luxury vehicle that Lexus is known for, but also have the motorsports heritage that they're building, I think, is in direct conflict. And so they almost needed to go up. Century is a Toyota brand in my mind.
It is, for sure.
But if they go really high, and you're right,
that's where they're headed. They're talking about Rolls and Bentley. Yes.
High end, and that allows Lexus to be motorsports, is what it is.
Maybe.
I think, I'm reading in, but I think that allows Lexus to be even more high-end luxury performance and motorsports because of that new Lexus hypercar coming out.
The hypercar, the supposedly follow-up to the LFA that they're about to announce. Okay, interesting. Because I guess what you're saying,
branded as Century. You wouldn't see that branded at a very high end because it's a two-seater, high-end. It's got motorsports heritage, but also luxurious. It allows Lexus to do cars like that, and then leave Century way up here for the almost chauffeur market.
Yeah, one of the critiques we've had against Lexus for years is that their stuff was too isolating, and they've started to move away from that a little bit. You might make a great point. That might be what we do with the isolation chambers here, is we leave that at Century, which might make sense. If it's can you imagine a $300,000 Toyota product? I mean, granted, the LFA was super expensive when it came out.
We had to imagine a $300,000 Cadillac.
And Mustang, as we think about it. I mean, the Celestiq, hasn't the Celestiq kind of come out? at this point?
It's out, apparently, and the entire world has stopped talking about it already. I don't think they ever really started.
But that's interesting because this feels like Toyota Lexus following Cadillac, but that Celestiq is a non-thing.
Well, now that I think about it, Cadillac is synonymous with racing as well.
Exactly.
Specifically because of Formula One in 2026.
Agreed.
So they've got racing heritage now. They're winning race team.
Yeah.
But they're also trying to do the high-end luxury thing too. So I'm wondering if that's causing them problems because the Celestiq, I mean, there's a handful of buyers, but I don't know what that proved to the world.
Yeah.
Especially with Cadillac going racing.
Yeah, and I don't think, obviously Cadillac, that's their big EV flagship, and everybody's pulling back from EV flagships. I doubt that Century is going to be EV, but though I do expect it to be hybrid because that's Toyota's thing. But what is this? How many will they make? I mean, with a tagline like one of one, they're leaning into coach building. They're leaning into bring us your pile of cash. We will make you a one of one car. So this is a very interesting thing.
Which is a thing. It's a market.
Absolutely, of course it is.
It's a market. Other news that we've seen is that the average new car in the U.S. now costs more than $50,000, or right about $50,000.
That is the average. It's
average
crazy.
across the board. And listener Nate wrote to us. He saw that headline as well. He said there's a lot of great values in the market that don't even come close to the $50,000 price point while not being a penalty box to drive.
Agreed.
Pretty funny, Nate. He says the Honda Civic is a good example. Barring the Type R, he's not sure you can spec one over $35,000. He also gives the example of the Buick Envista as a great example of getting a lot for your money.
True, we've talked about it.
Which is true. And you will even see that now, the Toyota RAV4, it's been a bargain. It will continue to be a bargain. There's many cars in the marketplace. He is identifying that. What I've got on screen is the new BMW X3 because this starting is $50,000. And my thought here is that all of us consumers have wanted SUVs, which makers have brought to market, but we've also wanted something pretty luxurious, and we're willing to spend for it. I think it's simply the willingness of the market, and this was about the best example that I can think of. Near luxury, it's not high-end luxury, but it's a luxurious brand, and it's an SUV. Starts right at $50,000. That is the X3. That is the market here. But there's tons of cars from Hyundai, Kia, across the board. Mazda, Toyota, Honda. You're right, Nate. It's not a penalty box. There's so many great ones that we can still buy, even sports cars that aren't close to 50.
True. And the thing you have to think about here, Nate, also is in current dollars, inflation averaged, is $50,000 for the average price any more of your income than when the average price was 20? What's the inflation variable there? So that'd be interesting to see. But here's the thing you have to think about. In order to get that to be the average, that means there have to be a lot of cars selling above 50. And that seems, to your point, it seems impossible. It seems like, well, there can't be very many. Until you think about, in the U.S., how many pickups sell. And how hard it is to find a pickup less than $50K. You don't even have to buy a big one. You can do the Ranger and the Tacoma, which are the small pickups, and the way you want it is probably $50,000 or more. If you go for the F-150, get a Truckle. If you go for the F-150, or you go for the Sierra or the Silverado or whatever, the Tundra, the one you want of that is $60,000 to $70,000.
Think there's going to be belt buckles for the Texas edition anythings?
There probably should be.
This is a huge untapped market.
It's an untapped market. The Truckle for the Tundra. The Tundra Truckle. It's the ice Truckle. The ice Truckle, yes. And then we got the silver Truckle for the Silverado. We can just keep going, man. We can keep going.
Endless. What other? It seems goofy, but it's sold out.
The boat-themed Truckle for your Armada. Come on, I can keep going.
Oh, my gosh.
I can keep going. The Truckle's here to stay. Anyway, but the point I'm making here is trucks are the thing that sell. The only thing that competes with SUVs like the RAV4 for actual total amount sold in the U.S. are these full-size pickups, and they're all over 50. So when you consider the sheer volume of those going on, I mean, what's the Ford F-150? There's like a new one every 60 seconds. When you consider the volume,
51 seconds,
and they all need Truckles.
They all do.
Ford
should make them a supplier.
They should just buy
the King Ranch, with Ford.
Get a Truckle. You absolutely should. The King Ranch should just comes with a Truckle.
Comes with a Truckle.
That's just right there on your price build. You just open up the glove box. There's your Truckle.
There's your Truckle.
Truckle included.
Waiting for you.
Anyway, but my point is, when you think about how much those trucks all cost, it's not surprising, even though you're right. There's so much good stuff below 50. And I also want to argue that most of the stuff good below 50 isn't a 5-seat SUV.
I have taken a lot of heat over the years for recommending and pushing on people's budgets. And I do it not for just entertainment value, but I do it simply because there's what I think the budget and your wants will entertain. And then there's just a step outside of that that I think will make you happier because these are such large investments. But privately, I've had a lot of conversations with people who have said, yeah, by the way, my brother-in-law or my friend, yeah, they kind of pushed on their budget and they ended up getting blank for $5 or $10 grand more. It happens way more than you think.
For sure.
But I think this new average price reflects cars being one of the only products that pull on emotions as much as it pulls on your needs.
I agree.
It's one of the only products that does that. That you're willing to justify, and in the heat of purchase, in the heat of battle, and you see one that just has a little bit more, it's got this package, and wouldn't you like to really have that?
You would, yes.
And suddenly, in a moment of weakness, you cave and you spend more, and all of us are doing it.
Yes.
And it's hard to just stick to. I mean, how often I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not going a penny above $30,000.
Yes, I hear you.
Now, when you're buying used, it's a lot easier.
Sure.
But this average is based on a lot of new car sales too.
Absolutely.
And so
it's based
consumers
on new cars,
are just willing to go a little bit more, and car manufacturers have us right where they want us.
True.
They know this.
I'm going to add to your point. I do think it's the only two big purchases in your life that you're looking at with a long-term view. It is a car and it is a house. I don't know a single person who was going house shopping and got a house for less than they hoped for. I don't know a single person. Everybody I know that's bought a house in the last 10, 15 years, here was our budget. Here's the house we bought. Because you found the right one at the right time and you realized, oh, we got to push a little. How much money can we move around? And in every case, and I'm not saying people are spending necessarily beyond their budget. Sometimes we do. But I'm saying you have I'm hoping to spend this much on my house. You spent more. Everyone I know, just by the time you found the right house at the right day, and you're thinking long term.
Correct.
Okay. And the same thing happens with cars. So it is amazing how much money we're all spending on these things, many times too much, but hopefully we got something we love. That's why we're all here on this podcast with this show, is to try to get you something you love to drive, that when the bill comes every month, even if it's frightening, you go, yeah, I have that thing and it's awesome.
I love my car.
Yes.
We're adding FCP Euro as our partners and supporters for both Everyday Driver and Hooked on Driving. For nearly 40 years, FCP Euro has been an industry-leading supplier of genuine, original equipment and OEM parts and performance upgrades for European cars.
That means BMW, Audi, Volkswagen, Mini, Mercedes, Volvo, Porsche, and even Saab. Paul, you have to call your brother-in-law and tell him FCP Euro is the place, because as I just said, even Saab. We're putting it in the ad. Anyway.
They offer a lifetime replacement guarantee on everything, including consumables like brake pads, wiper blades, and even oil filters. Buy a replacement, send back the old one, and receive a credit for the full amount.
For your Saab!
Plus, FCP Euro offers free economy shipping on orders over $49 and a 90-day hassle-free return policy for new, unused, and uninstalled parts.
So visit FCP Euro today for more than 300,000 parts ready to ship for your European car and your Saab. FCPEuro.com. Yeah. So our topic Tuesday today actually builds on one we did recently. Many of you, when we did our most fun car at every price point, we obviously were focused on just fun cars, but most of those aren't family cars. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is fun family car, and I gave myself extra rules, okay? But we're going to do the same price points as before. So again, it's $5 grand, 10 grand, 20 grand, $50,000, $75,000, and $100,000. This is the most fun or best fun family car at each of those price points. I also, I want to acknowledge GTI's work here, Civic SI's work, WRX's work, Elantra N's work. The Integra is a great four-door family car, but I specifically went four-door, four-seat, rear-wheel drive.
For every category.
For every category.
Wow.
I also, less than 20 years old. Because, I mean, if you go back far enough, everything becomes affordable.
Of course.
I did less than 20 years old, and I didn't duplicate a manufacturer, and that was hard. If I used a manufacturer, I couldn't use it again.
That's very hard, actually.
And I also want to say to you that some of these you're going to hear me run up against, and I'm going to use it at a price point, but you could find it at 4 or 5 of the price points, that model.
Of course.
I'm not going to come back around.
You could say that. Sure.
Yeah. So these were my rules. I gave myself lots of rules, but I have a different car at every price point, and I have a couple that genuinely surprised me. I was like, oh, those are that price now. I can put that right there. So it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
I love this. I've got some rules for myself as well. They must be interesting to drive.
Love it.
Or very enthusiast oriented. They have to have some element of, we've driven them, we've liked them for a reason, and you know what? This is fun. It doesn't have to be absolutely the most mind-bending thing, because 4 doors, 4 seats generally precludes a car from being the most fun thing ever driven.
Sure.
But
Agreed.
we're trying for fun with the family. You've got family, needs, kids. I allow SUVs, but I actually didn't choose any. Good. And there's some fun SUVs.
There are.
And I had considered a few, but I decided, you know what? I'm with you. It's got to be 4 doors. You can make 2 doors work.
Of course, yeah.
But generally speaking, fun for the family. For me, mileage is irrelevant.
Okay.
I'm also 21 years at this point, or newer.
Right. Got it.
And 4 doors only, like I mentioned. Potential maintenance or known problems. Anybody says, well, don't buy one of those because of blank. I'm ignoring those.
Okay.
And
we're chasing
putting
the fun.
in place of that. Mom and dad being an enthusiast driver and having fun at any price point.
You could drop off the kids at school and take the fun way home by yourself and have a great time.
Yeah. I didn't duplicate models, but I did duplicate manufacturers.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So
all good.
I say dive right in.
Okay, I will dive in. This was interesting because I had one of those moments where this first car on my list is one of those where you could do it at almost every price point, but I decided to start with it at $5,000, and that is the BMW 3 Series. Did you know that the non-M E90 generation, the 2009 and up BMW 3 Series, these are all over the place for $5,000?
Are they really?
You just
That's fantastic.
Go shop. Yes, the mileage varies wildly, the condition varies wildly, but they sold so many of these. And this is a genuinely great chassis. You can get it in small engines, but you can get it in the 328 with an actual straight 6. The 330 exists, or 335. I think it was 335 on this one. I'm going to get that wrong. But anyway, there's good engines. There's good chassis. Here's the thing. If you buy a $5,000 BMW 3 Series that even looks halfway decent, no one's going to think you spent $5,000.
That's
and
true.
I also
That's
think,
true.
even though
for $5,000, they're all
exactly.
$5,000. That's amazing.
Well, there's a lot of them. That's what I'm saying.
That's
looking
incredible.
Looking at $5,000, I put my absolute max at 7, and I didn't even have to go that high. I was looking
amazing.
on autotempest.com/everyday. It was amazing how many were out there. I think this is one of those cars that when you get it and you get it and you make sure it's got tires and oil and maintenance and all that kind of stuff, you're going to drive it every day, and no part of you is going to think, yeah, this was a cheap car. It's going to feel like a lot of car for the money. So $5,000 BMW 3 Series, moving up to $10,000. The Infiniti G37 sedan. You remember these?
I do.
These are less than 20 years old. This was a good-looking sedan in its time. This was not the most amazing thing dynamically, but I think in most trims, these were more fun to drive than the 3 Series. This is when Infiniti was getting it right. So the G37 sedan, 4 doors, 4 seats. The tech was not cutting edge at the time these cars were released, so now it does seem old, but who cares? This is a great car dynamically. For $10,000, you have your choice of these cars.
That's
and
great.
They're out there.
That's great.
So I really think the Infiniti is a great choice at $10,000. I will also acknowledge many of you are going to write your own lists into the comments. We love that. We are not claiming these are the only options there. These are just the ones that stand out for us, but I had to go Infiniti. I just love that one there. Jumping up to $20,000, the Kia Stinger GT.
That's cool.
We've had a few of these join us on our many of our adventure trips.
These really $20,000 now?
You can find them
for GTs.
You can find them now.
Wow.
There's a lot of lower models, models.
I was going to say, yeah.
But the GTs, if you shop carefully, I found multiple out there that are the GT1s. You can do rear wheel drive. This has a surprising amount. This is real 4-seat space here. Now, the G37 Genesis is another great car. You can get down into these prices, but that's got a smaller back seat. This has a full-size adult back seat and a hatch.
That's excellent.
You're going to have more space in a Kia Stinger GT than a lot of SUVs, frankly. And it is a genuinely fun chassis. When these have come on our adventures, every time we've driven one, you and I are both surprised by, this drives even better than we expected. Every time we drive one, they just drive well. You get it with that great I think it's a 3.3 or a 3.6 motor. Mm-hmm. That turbo is excellent. Mm-hmm. You cannot go wrong here. Kia Stinger, $20,000, get a GT.
For 20 grand, I didn't realize these went down that far. Yeah, that's amazing.
Here's the thing. You go a couple $1,000s in either direction. We're talking about stretching budgets, but $20,000 as the target, you can get into these for sure. Jumping up to $50,000, you knew it was coming, the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio. If I had $50,000 and somebody said buy a sedan, I would run right over to the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio. I'm showing a green one on screen right now. This comes in a gorgeous blue, a gorgeous green, a great red. There's like a coppery orange color we've seen. RSR has that one, which is a very unique color. This is a spectacular looking car, and thankfully it's also a spectacular driving car. Incredible horsepower in that Quadrifoglio, great engine. You've all heard me talk about it, arguably too much. But for $50,000, I go right here and I stop. I don't want an M car. I want the Alfa, and I'm done. We've known 2 or 3 close friends that have owned them. They have loved them.
Yeah.
So this is my car for
50
sure.
grand easy.
I would totally own one of these. Jumping up to $75,000, tons of options of the Porsche Panamera.
It's great.
Pick your spec.
Yeah.
I don't even care. This was designed originally to have room for 4 6-footers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. This is a genuine 4-seat car. Now, it isn't. Here's the downside. This is not a 5-seat car. This is a 4-seat car. The hatch isn't huge. Okay. But I think the 911, below the GT cars, drives more like the 2-door version of the Panamera than the Panamera feels like a bigger 911. This is
agreed.
These are great dynamically, and the Panamera also. I have a weird thought here that these started ugly, and then they became quite attractive, and now they've gone ugly again. The new ones with the really big boxy headlights and the weird front end. I mean, I'm showing one here that is right when they start to turn. The current ones I have seen pictures of.
They got it right, and then it turned ugly.
And then they overcorrected. They've gotten ugly. They've gotten like big and bulky and weird looking now. The front end on them is not attractive. The front end on them worked on the first gen.
The signature lighting now is...
And now it's just gone bulky and strange.
Well, that signature is going for the new Cayman and Boxster,
yes.
I believe.
It just looks
not
big.
Convinced.
It looks big and weird. So the Panameras you can afford for $75,000, you take your pick. What is the spec you'd like? And this is a fantastic family car that when the family is out of it, you can drive it as hard as you ever want. Bring it to an HOD track day. These things are great on track. And then you pick up the kids and the groceries and the hatchback and the whole thing. Love these at $75,000. $100,000 is interesting. You're not going to believe, my friend, what I found at $100,000.
Really?
I'm going to go off book for a second and come back. I'm going to go crazy for a minute because it's only 2 doors, but I am showing a 2024 Maserati Gran Turismo Modena. Now, this is a step down from the Trofeo that we drove. We drove the Trofeo, which has the huge engine. Mm-hmm. But this still...
It's not that far of a step.
Has like 480 horsepower and 450 pound-feet of torque. It still is a car that does under 4 seconds 0 to 60. It is only 2-door, but it does have arguably usable back seats. But the point I'm making here is this was originally like a $180,000, $200,000 car.
Yeah.
The one I'm showing right now has 2,400 miles, and they're asking $107,000. And I wish this was enough of a joke that I could be like, this is the only one. It's not. There's a lot of them.
I mean, I've seriously entertained these. I can't afford them, but
of course not. The Modena, for this price, this is all-wheel drive. The chassis is superb.
Yeah.
This is an excellent 4-seat car that is supposed to be twice the price they're selling for. If they're $100,000 now, next year they're like $75,000.
Yeah, I'm already sold.
These are dropping like stones.
Yeah.
And this Modena version, again, plenty of power. It's not the big Trofeo, but plenty of power. What do you need here? I cannot believe this exists at this price.
This is amazing.
I looked it up as a joke, thinking they've got to at least be $150,000. And I was just scrolling through, like between 99 and 110. It was like, what color would you like, sir? I couldn't believe it. So anyway, that doesn't really work because it's not 4-door, but all-wheel drive, 4 seats, and it's the Maserati Gran Turismo Modena. Yes, please. Moving on to reality at $100,000, I have to bring up this car, the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing. The car we're all dreaming about in this entire category, that we all have in our head as like the icon, is the E39 M5.
Pretty much.
It's a full-size 4-door, 4-seat sedan,
it's just
rear-wheel drive.
Slightly too old.
Exactly. It's rear-wheel drive, manual transmission. Yeah. This is what this Cadillac is. It's all of the things the E39 did.
I like
Big
that you
V8.
found at least a couple photos of these cars doing burnouts.
Yes, that was important to me. I was just digging around. So, but the CT5 comes in cool colors. Mm-hmm. It's not just all the shades of gray and black.
Yeah.
Cool colors, great power, interesting engine, fantastic dynamics. The CT4 and 5 are both excellent. These right now, $100,000 new. Like, go out and buy a brand new one. Spec one for yourself and maybe break $100,000, maybe. Get it under the 107 of the Maserati. But my point here is, these are going to go away. You can find used ones for under $100K, but I don't think you can do a better 4-door, 4-seat, family car, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission. It's all of the things. $100,000.
I like that you were definitive with one car in each category because I have a lot of runners up for my categories.
I really tried to pare my list down because you're right. Good. You can have, there's a ton I've missed, and I'm sure you'll bring a lot of them up. There's others in every one of these categories. But again, to my rules, I was trying to stay rear-wheel drive and never duplicate a manufacturer.
That's really good.
I couldn't believe how much fun it was. And every one of these cars, I think you would get in any of these cars at any of these prices and be like, I only spent how much? Even at $100,000 for that Cadillac, I think it's still I only spent how much? They're that level good.
I'm so intrigued by our different approaches and how we positioned, because I've got some duplicates in here.
I'm sure you have some of the same ones I did.
But they're in different spots.
Yeah.
Since you're listening to us, you'll end up shopping for your next car very soon. And when you do, you need Autotempest.com.
Any car, anywhere, at any price, Autotempest searches all the major car listing sites on the web, local or nationwide. And Autotempest has recently added price history for every car listed, so you can see how prices are trending and know if you found a good deal. You can also create search alerts and lists of saved searches so you can find your perfect spec even easier next time.
Search on any device, in your browser or as an app for Apple iOS and Android. New, used, or unexpected, Autotempest is how we search for cars. Go to Autotempest.com/everyday so they know we sent you. Autotempest. All the cars. One search. Diving in with my list here, very different. You did very well with the rear-wheel drive 3 Series. I didn't know they were down that far. That's excellent.
I was very surprised, actually, but there's a lot of them. Yeah.
Like I mentioned, I've got runners up for all of these categories.
Great.
Well,
I love
all
that.
Except one, just because there were cars that I couldn't not acknowledge. But for $5,000 or $6,000, a Volvo S60 from 2012. The T5,
okay.
$5,000 or $6,000. Here's one that's just under 7 with 65,000 miles, 250 horsepower, and 266 pound-feet of torque. I always did love how Volvos drove.
I agree.
From this era, I thought they were just great, fun, solid, great seats. I think this is a great choice, and I'm finding a lot of them with high miles, which I know I threw out mileage, but that just tells me these have longevity.
Okay, fair.
And there's a following for these cars. The runner-up, just 21 years old, is the Lexus IS300. The original.
That's a good car.
Find these with manuals.
Yeah.
They were light, rear-wheel drive, chuckable, fun.
That's great.
Great cars to drive.
That's a great one.
And I also had toyed with the Acura TL. That 05 to 08 we always liked.
Those were good.
This I'm showing here is a 2012 TL, which...
When they added the chrome beak.
The beak is not ideal, but... Yeah. The longevity, and you know what? These are just solid cars for families. They're decent to drive. So in the 5,000 to 7,000 range,
that's three excellent. Four. If you add the BMW, that's
the BMW.
4 excellent cars we're talking about in that range.
Yeah,
that's
I realize some of these are front-wheel drive cars, except for the Lexus, but
they're still good.
I think they're still fun to drive, and I think they're still viable. Moving on to the $10,000 range, I just have one. And that is a 2014 Subaru Impreza WRX wagon for $9,900, straight up 100,000 miles. I think you're a family, young kids. I think you're just going to want to take this car at any time. Let's go for a ride. Does the family stuff. It's a small wagon, hatch.
That's good. That's
Subaru
really
needs
good.
to bring us back, and Subaru's already teasing us with, hey, here's more cool stuff like they always do.
We'll
and then
see.
we're not going to build it. We're just going to tease you. All right, moving on to the $20,000 range. I think you're going to be surprised when I show you a 2017
there you go.
Infiniti Q50 Red Sport 400.
I can't believe those are that cheap.
They're $20,000 all day long, sometimes less.
That's
for
an excellent engine.
A Red Sport, 400 horsepower, 375 pound-feet of
Something
torque.
like that. That's a superb engine, yeah.
The Red Sport
That engine went
400.
on to be in the current Z.
Yes.
And,
So
and
here
when
we go.
we drove it, we talked about this is the engine the Z needs, and that's eventually what they did. That is a great version. So I had the G35 below.
Yeah.
You have this here. That's superb.
Did you realize they built these all the way up until 2024? They built these forever.
And
there's new ones practically
I know.
for $50,000, but you can get one exactly like the new ones from 2017 or earlier.
Point. That's a great point. Yeah.
For $20,000.
That is so much sedan for that amount of money. That's really excellent.
Kind of
Good
what I
job
was
on
thinking.
that, yeah.
I have the Honda Civic Si, the current generation, for $20,000.
That's very good.
The Honda Civic Hybrid in the it's closer to 2025, somewhere in there.
All right, yeah.
Liked that car. I can't not say Mazda 3 Turbo. I love this thing.
Very good. We just had it those two together. It's really good.
$25,000. Here's where Alpha fits for me at the $20,000 range.
I see
the
it.
Giulia, not the Quad.
Yep, absolutely.
But just straight up Giulia.
Yeah, I thought of that as well. Yeah.
And finally, the Hyundai Elantra N. All
Excellent.
of these are great family cars.
Yes.
Space, groceries, kids, dogs,
and fun.
all the people, and all of them are fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to the $50,000 range.
Okay.
You had Quad here.
I did. Yeah.
For me, it is the Integra Type S, hands down, all day long.
It's a superb car.
Brand new,
Yes,
52.
yes.
It is the new. This is the 2024 blue Integra Type S that I'm showing up here. But the runners-up include an Audi RS3 for $50K.
That's a lot of car.
Compelling
That's very
for
good.
me. The Quad goes here as a runner-up for me, which I love and acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
The F80 BMW M3 I cannot leave alone. I have to mention this car. And here it is.
deserves to be
It's,
there for sure.
At
Definitely.
Portimao track. The Genesis G70 2.5.
Excellent.
And finally, again, Volvo S60. Well, I guess this is one duplicate, but you know what? I'll give myself
Keep
a mulligan.
going. Yeah, you've got a great
S60
list.
Black Edition. This is the Recharge. This was just
All the things.
so entertaining.
This was the ultimate sleeper car.
Yeah.
You just didn't know how powerful it was, and you were just
everybody
ensconced in luxury. It was great.
I find your Cadillac placed very interestingly.
Okay.
Because at $75,000, I'm going CT4V Blackwing.
Okay, yeah.
For the $75,000
all. I love
mark,
it.
which
Good.
is the ultimate family sedan. At $75K,
It's great.
look no further.
It's great.
But you know what? I have to acknowledge. Oh, here it is in the cyber yellow. Here's that.
That is
CT4.
craziness.
The
Yeah.
cyber yellow is obnoxious and absurd and cool. All companies.
Cadillac, who's known to be staid, is somehow offering some of the best colors ever on one of the best sedans ever.
Yeah.
What bizarro world are we in?
And they're about to leave that behind. Well, I guess the CT5's
Anyway,
coming back.
let's
but
hope
still.
so, yeah.
All right, so that's the cyber yellow color. I'd never actually seen one
That's
in
great.
photos or
I
in
love it.
person. It's obnoxious in a good way. I have to put this is under 70, just under 70.
Yeah.
The Hyundai Ioniq 5N. I think this could absolutely be your family car because it's a hot hatch, but it's bigger than a hatch. It is bigger than the hot hatch
it's
segment.
It's a small SUV. Yeah, yeah.
Where does it fit? But it's enough for all the family duties,
Mm-hmm,
and it's a riot to drive.
Yeah,
I love this thing.
A lot of high performance electric vehicles could make this list, but the problem is high performance doesn't necessarily equal fun.
True.
And generally, the EVs that I've driven have been very powerful and sometimes very fast, but rarely fun. Your Ioniq N here is the exception. The Ioniq 5N is genuinely fun.
Yeah.
It's fun whenever you'd like it to be, at whatever speed. And that's a real success.
Agreed. You know, something else that for me, I kind of had a bad attitude about.
Okay.
And that was the Polestar 2.
All right.
I found this to also be fun.
Okay.
I dove harder into driving this and kind of enjoyed myself. And I thought, am I allowed to change my mind?
Yes.
So I say Polestar 2
Okay. All right.
at the $75,000 mark and less so than that right now, quite a
for
bit
sure,
less. which all brings me to the $100,000 mark, and I just couldn't decide.
Okay.
There is my definitive.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
And here it is.
Oh, okay.
The Mercedes Estate. The E63S Estate with 600 horsepower.
That's hard to argue
This
against.
is the family fun car.
You're right. You're
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I could not. I had to go shopping. And shop I did.
Oh, no.
For $93,951 at Paul Miller Audi, you can get yourself a 2021 with 38,000 miles. Under 100K now.
In great blue, and that is a rocket ship family vehicle.
I want this.
I'm not surprised.
I want it.
Yeah.
Just
full wagon,
this
blue, amazing. That's great. That is great.
You will find yourself making up excuses to take the Merc. Can we just,
yes.
I want to hear it. I want to drive it. I want to be in it. Can we just take it to go do a made up reason?
Yep. I love it.
That is the definitive for me.
Very
$100,000.
Very good.
But of course, I could not leave that $100,000 level alone because this for me is where the brand new Panamera goes. Well, I guess it's not the new one with the different lights. This is where a GTS goes for me.
Sure. Okay.
100K.
Yeah.
Boom. Panamera.
They're great.
I think this is fantastic.
I don't understand how that car is turning ugly again. They'd gotten it right.
You're right. They did get it right.
Like the 2020 Sport Turismo Extra Wagon was Panamera perfected, and then it's just started to slide since then, which is really too bad.
It's a totally different styling direction, and we're going to see that reflected on the upcoming Cayenne. It's of course part of the Macan design language. We're going to see it on the Cayenne.
Yeah.
And 911s need elliptical headlights. They cannot take on this new design language. I think sales will tank if they do.
You know what it feels like to me? It feels like the 996 generation 911 when that and the Boxster and everything had that headlight shape, including the first-gen Cayennes, and it didn't work on anything, and they had to correct. I think this new headlight, boxy direction of the vents and all that, I think it's kind of the Egg Headlights 2.0, where it's not going to look right on any of their models, and the next-gen refresh is going to have to fix it. It's just every photo I've seen, new Cayenne, new Macan, the Boxster in camo, this
not good.
Panamera, it makes the cars look big, which is weird.
What I like is that design language used on the Taycan, I'm all about.
Okay.
I can see it.
Okay,
I don't
maybe.
know if it's because it's EV or not, but I can see that, all right, I do like it on here, but not across the board. But that's what car companies love to do, is introduce it on a flagship and then copy it across the board. I don't think it's going to work on Cayman and Boxster, and certainly not on 911.
Very interesting.
A couple more here. We've actually been to this particular photo location, this particular
that's very
spot.
cool.
At $100,000, I mean, I'm choosing Merc. That's my top choice. But whenever we see an RS6, whenever we all see an RS6, doesn't everybody just go, oh, if only? It's superb.
The look of this has a style and a vibe to it that's much better than the Mercedes. This has an anger about just the styling that the Mercedes can't match.
Have you ever seen them with the aerodynamic roof box on top and you just think, they're off to some cool adventure?
Let's hope so.
My life is not like that. I wish my life were like that. I want to do whatever they're doing
exactly.
in that car.
That's very good.
Where are you guys going? What coolness are you going to go do?
That's awesome. I love it.
And then finally, here is the G80. Of course, I could not show the front end, so I'm showing the rear of the G80.
Excellent.
M3.
It does drive very well.
You know what? This is at $100K for a family car. Let's take the M3. Let's just drive it.
They are the reference
fun.
point. The M3 and M5 are the reference point. I'm not surprised you brought it back. That's very good.
I could not help myself with the runners up because I think they needed to be acknowledged. But
I think that's excellent.
I love the differences in our selections here. All of them I think are valid, and I'm amazed that there still can be fun to be had way down in the lower price levels. That's fantastic.
I'm shocked at, hey, depreciation is our friend. I'm shocked at some of the stuff we find. And again, depreciation is our friend because we're all going to get Maserati Gran Turismos in a few years.
I'm all about that.
Spectacular 4-seat, 2-door, all-wheel drive thing. That drives so much better than it deserves to.
Yes,
it's amazing.
They drive great, and I seriously think that is a Nettuno engine designed, developed, and manufactured only by Maserati. It's not shared. It's just a Maserati engine. They put it in everything. I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Very curious about it.
All right. Continue to write to us with lists. What do you want us to go through?
Post your lists, yeah.
Yes, definitely post your lists. And then what do you want us to cover in the future? everydaydrivertv@gmail.com.
Griot's Garage is our official car care partner and one of our very first sponsors for the show. They don't just make great car care products, they want you to get out and drive your car.
Griot's is a family-owned company, and they've been a part of every one of our road trips. We always take speed shine on every shoot, helping us spot clean cars at a moment's notice.
Their foaming glass cleaner is the quickest and best way we've ever found to get windows clean before a big day of driving. And they're always releasing new and improved products like their updated Wash Bucket 2.
Plus, all of Griot's liquid products are 100% guaranteed and made right here in the USA. The Griot's people are always happy to answer any questions to make sure you get the right product and the right results.
So get the best quality car care products out there from a company that has always supported this show. Our audience can always get at least 10% off by using the code DRIVER10 at griotsgarage.com. We just got finished with a huge weekend at Hooked on Driving. We had an event all over the nation. We had one at Pacific Northwest. We had one in Northern California. We had one in the Midwest. We have a whole lot more events coming. The year is winding down, but you can't tell it based on the stuff happening pretty much in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, we had a great time at the recent Northeast Watkins Glen Day. That was fantastic.
That was really
we attended
cool.
that.
Yep.
And we were told by Cody there, he said, after 3 p.m. on Saturday, there were 1,000 people at the gate.
It was awesome.
Fantastic for the food trucks, the live music. It was really something to see. It was
Campfire
really cool.
and hang out after the track. It was really, really awesome. It was a great event.
Coming up in NorCal, Saturday, November 1st and Sunday, November 2nd at Laguna Seca. That is a 92 decibel day, but that is no bad thing because of the new noise restrictions. They're actually a little bit friendlier, so that is good. NGMP Lightning Track in the Northeast, Saturday, November 1, Sunday, November 2, same weekend. And then Pit Race in Pennsylvania, that is closing. We have learned that is no longer going to be in existence. After Saturday, November 8th and Sunday, November 9th, HOD has the distinction of being the last ever track weekend at Pit Race. After that weekend, the locks will go on the gates, and apparently that is it for Pit Race.
Apparently it's going to be a data center.
That's what we've learned.
Here's the thing. I didn't think close the racetrack and build condos. I didn't think there was a step worse than that.
It's a data center.
Close the racetrack and be a data center is even more of a bummer than condos. That's what's
Everybody has their price.
Yeah, I guess.
Moving on to Saturday, November 15th and Sunday, November 16th, back in NorCal for Thunderhill Raceway 3 Mile. And then moving out to the Mid-Atlantic region, Saturday, November 29th and Sunday, November 30th. That is Thanksgiving weekend, the Saturday, Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend 2025.
Wow.
VIR. Virginia International Raceway from Mid-Atlantic. That's
sounds
going to be
epic.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
we got to make it out to VIR at some point.
We do, for sure.
And then coming up in 2026, I am teasing you all, we have stood up Spain and Portugal for April 24th through the 29th, 2026 at Circuit de Sevilla in Spain, in Seville, Spain, and Portimao in Portugal, southern Portugal, right on the coast there. And we would love to have you. It's absolutely an adventure. Going to be a day at Seville and 2 days at Portugal, I believe.
Yes, with a day in between for transit, which is also going to be a little bit of a touristy day. Keep in mind, this is southern Spain and the coast of Portugal. That sounds amazing by itself. These two tracks are very cool. The Circuit de Sevilla has just opened the last few years, and apparently everybody that's driven it says it's awesome. This is partnered with our partner in Europe anyway, RSR. So this is one of these all-inclusive trips where all of your lodging and your car and your instructor and everything is included. So that's on the Hooked on Driving site right now.
HookedOnDriving.com for a track day near you. Our first car debate brings to us Josh W. in Michigan. He writes to us about being a passionate, emotional overthinker. He's got a sentimental debate for us. In 2017, his brother-in-law Jesse suddenly passed away at the age of 26.
Oof.
Oh, man, we're sorry to hear that, Josh.
That's hard.
Several months prior, he had bought a bright red 2015 Ford Focus SE automatic, that dual-clutch nightmare of a transmission, and the car was left to his parents along with all of his other belongings. In 2018, Josh got a new job that required a significant amount of driving, and his in-laws graciously gifted Jesse's car to Josh.
Interesting. Okay.
He's been driving it ever since, and he loves it. He's done upgrades. He says it's a fantastic little car, surprisingly attractive. He does a fun annual autocross, getting 40 miles to the gallon, but now it's got 185,000 miles and starting to show its age. Josh's main concern is the transmission, which edges closer to failure every day.
Probably.
He's already had one clutch replaced, apparently. So now I guess he's ready for a more powerful car with a few more creature comforts. Josh is married with 2 boys, ages 10 and 12. He's currently got a 2022 Ram 2500 as the tow vehicle.
Okay.
But financially, it doesn't make sense to drive it because he gets 12 miles per gallon downhill with the engine off and a tailwind.
So it does quite well. Remember when we had, what was it, the TRX, and I think we got 6?
We worked hard at that,
We worked,
though.
That effort was made. Yes, I think it was 6 was our average. Moving on, yes.
Josh plans to keep this truck for a long time. He keeps the Michigan salt and miles off of it, so he doesn't drive it too much. And his wife has a 2018 Cadillac XT5. That's paid off and working great, but she's apparently ready for something else as well.
But this isn't even her car debate. That apparently we're going to circle back for.
Yeah,
we're moving
Josh,
on.
You'll have to write back. So this car, this means something to him, he writes. He connects with cars on a very emotional level, and he's actually tearing up while he writes to us this email. Josh's youngest son, Landon, inherited this trait. He loves the Focus and told him the day before Josh wrote this email that he'd rather have him pass the Focus down to him instead of a Porsche. Those are tall words.
His wife hates the car, though. Your wife, Josh, sees the car for what it is. I hate to say that to you, especially to you and your son, but she says it's loud, it's small, it's bumpy, super tight suspension from lowering it. It's just not a nice place to be. And she has told Josh, even though it was her brother's car, that her brother was not a car guy, and she is freeing him up to sell it. He doesn't have to keep it for any emotional, sentimental reasons. So the difficulty becomes Josh, and especially his son Landon, who have connected to this car. Now, let me give you a thought here. You have a young son. When my son was young, the coolest car he'd ever seen was whatever cool car we had.
Good point.
Okay?
Yeah.
So while he says right now, please give me the Focus ST at probably at that point 300,000 miles, I'd rather have that than a Porsche. And Porsche's not the point here, but he's never been in a Porsche. You've never had a Porsche. You've never had an actual, more focused sports car. And I think if you went and bought something right now, I'll give you an example, and I'm not recommending this car in this case. If you went and bought a first Gen 86, an FRS, in a color, he would probably nickname it the race car. And in under a month, he would decide it was the coolest car ever. And we all can agree that that car is old and underpowered compared to what even the GR86 second gen is. So I submit to you that you and your son can and should move on, even though it's hard.
Josh has envisioned doing an ST type of conversion to make the Focus more legitimate, especially as an autocross car.
185,000 miles, Josh. 185,000 miles and a questionable transmission.
I mean, he's saying he could do a comprehensive restoration. I've never heard of a Focus being restored.
No. Sorry. I know this is tough love, but sorry, no.
He said he could work on it over the years with his kids and store it in his barn during that time because they'll both need a car in a few years. But realistically, Josh, you even write that your son would get over it quickly if you sent the Focus down the road. You'd look back with longing and nostalgia, but even Josh admits he could get past it too.
I'm glad that you feel that way because that's where you're headed. I think that's the right call.
The final part of this problem is that Josh is an enthusiast without an enthusiast car, and life is too short to drive boring cars. We hardly agree.
Yep.
So he loves the Focus, but the parts are worth more than the whole, but he could do it. So it sounds like by writing the email, you've already started to let it go. This is the first step in letting the car go.
Yep.
Everybody in your family, and like I said, I think your boys will get over it real quick when you bring something cool home. He wants something new. Josh wants something more powerful, sporty, that he can drive daily through all 4 Michigan seasons. He likes the compact size of the Focus, but he's open to going a size up or down.
Okay.
He gives us a list of things: sub 5 seconds, 0 to 60, aggressive exhaust tone, something to tackle a few cones. He'd be happy for autocrossing. He needs 4 seats, but not necessarily 4 doors.
Okay, I like it.
He hauls an oversized hockey bag and stick. Right now his budget is about $20K or under.
Okay, that's good.
And he'd like heated seats, steering wheel, decent radio with CarPlay, all the good stuff.
He even says a quiet cabin. I mean, the thing is, what you're looking for, I don't mean this to be tacky, but what you're looking for is everything the Focus doesn't do. You're looking for a genuine upgrade here, but $20,000 is an okay budget for it.
He admits to needing an automatic at this point in his life.
I get it.
And Josh, I just want to brag on you for the list of cars that have come to your mind. He said not all of these are in his budget, but he's got a great list of stuff going. I want to brag on you for your list of really starting to think this through. I feel like I've got two suggestions that will be additions to this list, but in any case, take your boys shopping and test driving with you.
Ooh, I like that.
Because for Landon, for your sons to let the car go, to move on, they need to be intimately involved in the buying process, and they can't be surprised. You can't, and because then you're going to have to sell them. No, it's great because of all these reasons. If they're not involved intimately in the buying process, I think you'll lose them, and they'll look back at the Focus and wish and wonder. But if you help them divest yourselves of the car, and what are the steps? First of all, it's an email to the guys. Second of all, we're going test driving. Third, it's starting to feel out buyers and who might want this? And you know what? Your autocross community actually might want to take it from you, take it off your hands.
Interesting.
And then involve them with news of every step as a new car is kind of coming on board. Share with them the budget. Talk to them about the value of a dollar. Talk to them where you're getting the money from and how you're pulling it all together, and whether it's cash or financing or a mix. Tell them everything about this new car.
That's cool.
So they have ownership, because this new car might be the one that those boys drive as their first car.
It might still be around, or it might be one of those things. I mean, my son's been driving long before he was supposed to. Anyway, it might be one of those cars where you give them the opportunity to drive it in a parking lot even before they get a license. And I will say, don't make the mistake I did. I learned this the hard way. When I got rid of my Subaru, which, by the way, is a Saab 92X, not me mispronouncing Subaru. When I got rid of my Subaru, I just got rid of it. I mean, my son knew we were selling it, but he didn't know the day it was going. And when it went down the drive, he was like, Dad, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And it kind of broke his heart. And I was like, I screwed up here. And every car since then, when we've sold it, I gave him time. I was like, buddy, sometime between here and this date, this car is going to go. When do you want to go out and just get time with it? So the FRS, the Lancer, the Mini Cooper, all the ones that have gone through since, I gave him some time to say goodbye to the car.
He sat in the Mitsubishi for a long time, as I recall.
He sat in the Mitsubishi at the mechanic with a blown engine, knowing it was leaving, and I just said, you sit here till you're done. Yeah, and that's the thing I learned the hard way. That's right to what you're saying. Involve your boys in it, and then they'll understand the transition. And I think that new life experience of test driving some of these cars, don't buy the car that your sons say you should buy. Don't do that. But ask their opinion anyway.
Don't discount it, though.
Yeah.
Because
what did they like and why?
At a young age, they could be right.
What did they like and why? If they like the car you're already leaning toward, done.
I recommended a four-door sports car, the Nissan Maxima, in 1990 when I was in junior high, and I was right.
These memories stick.
My parents didn't buy it.
These memories stick. There's many times that many of you have written into us when you're in your late teens and early 20s, and you said before you were driving, you told your parents to buy car X, they didn't, and you're still angry about it. It happens for sure. Yeah,
I'm not angry. I'm just noting.
Yeah, you're just making it. Okay, onward. Trying to help you, Josh.
All right, Josh. At the top of his list, Audi S3, S4, and TTS. These are at the very top. BMW 2 or 3 Series. I want to brag on you again. These are excellent choices. You've got to go drive these. Kia K5 GT, okay, good, but I like the Stinger GT2 and the GTS. Yes, I like those better. Elantra N, Giulia TI, Alfa Romeo.
Excellent.
Some Mini Cooper, JCW Clubman, something in there.
That'd be very good.
In there. Volkswagen Golf R, GTI, or Jetta GLI. I will ixnay the GLI. Do not get a Jetta GLI. Don't do it.
We've never enjoyed any one they've sent us. I know there are those of you that love it, and you're going to tell me all the things you have to do to make it awesome. We've never enjoyed a single one they've sent us.
Lexus IS350F is good. CT4V, well, of course it's good. Even suggests a Tesla Model 3 Performance. No exhaust drama, he admits, and that might be important to your boys right now.
And the speed will be impressive. If you took your boys in a Model 3 and your wife, you would all be wowed by the speed. The dynamics, no, but the speed, yes.
Focus RS or ST, Fiesta ST, Civic Si, and Type R, or any manual variants of these cars he loves, but just can't justify right now.
Totally get it, because they're manual and they're some of them above his budget too.
BMW, Audi, yes, go drive those. Start in on your list. Now's the time to do that. But the two I want to add for the $20K price range are the Mazda 3 Turbo Hatch.
Okay.
Automatic only. It's almost designed for what you've told us.
Fair point.
Small, fun, chuckable. Go autocross it.
Love it.
Turbo, yeah, fast, fun, plenty of power, luxurious. I think you'll really like that car. And the 2020 to 2022 Acura TLX, actually that 2022, the TLX, these are generally, weirdly, all under 20. And that 2022, that is the new body style.
That's great, actually. That's a lot of car for the money.
Yes.
It's a lot of car.
Those aren't the autocross cars.
I
realize that. And some of them are front-wheel drive at that price point. I'm finding also a lot with high miles, but new cars with very high miles just tells me you commuted. They're barely used, practically untouched.
Yep.
And that means you can get a deal for that. But I understand the autocross, so that's why I'm leaving the Mazda 3 Turbo Hatch up there at the top of my list.
That's very good. That's very good. Josh, I've got a few for you here. First off, I'm going to acknowledge that, yes, you can get an Alfa Romeo Giulia. I love that that's on your list. I'm going to start with an interesting thing I discovered today, and that is you already had it on your list. The Volkswagen GTI would be a great solve for you. But you know what's interesting about $20,000? For $20,000, you get an older, more beat-on GTI than if you get an Audi S3. You can get a newer, better Audi S3 for $20,000 than you can a GTI. That says to me that the S3 is hiding as the car people don't think about getting, and I think this is the more interesting choice of the two. The Golf is more usable with the hatch, I get it, but an S3 for $20,000, I was finding like 2018s, 2019s for that kind of money, and the GTIs for that were like 15, 16 and lots of miles. So S3 is a great choice here. I like that very much. I'm moving on for you as well. The WRX. Now, this might not be nice enough, but this has just personality, okay? $20,000, go get yourself a Subaru WRX. I think your boys would love this. I think your wife less so. Your wife would prefer the S3, I bet you. I think you'd all like the S3, but the WRX is interesting. The CVT is acceptable. Not good. I can't go good. It's acceptable. So you could go with that if you get a
Depends
recent
on
one.
the day.
It is the best CVT out there.
Depends on my mood.
There's that. So there's the WRX. I have to bring it up because otherwise it's obvious if it's missing here. So I have to go with that one. The Elantra N.
Sweet.
The problem is you can't get it for $20,000, but you know what you can do? The Veloster N.
That might be actually. That's a great choice.
The Veloster N all day long at $20,000. You can get it with the DCT. You can get it in color. I'm showing a black one here from one of our shoots, but you can get it in red. You can get it in their crazy blue. These are out there. They're manual. They're also DCT. So that is awesome. And then you've joked before about how I think the 3-door is just like this extra little carnival ride for kids. It's just like, I have my own door. It's a door just for kids in the back.
His sons would love this car.
I think it'd be very, very fun. So because I thought Elantra, and then I went, oh, too expensive. Then I went, not the Veloster isn't. Veloster N, everybody, works. But I think the best one here for you, because I keep thinking about commute car. You want modern amenities. You want it to be nice and quiet and luxurious if you road trip, but you still want fun. $20,000 gets you an M235 BMW. They're all over the place at this price.
Yeah.
The M235 has a straight 6 BMW engine. It has M badging all over the place. It has M dynamics, but it is not, by the way, there's a plague going on right now in Auto Tempest. If you look up the the 2 Series of this generation, almost all the cars that are M235i's are listed in the title on Auto Tempest as M2s.
Are you serious?
They're not M2s. The M235i is an excellent car. I think this is your car, Josh, because when you want to have a luxurious car, you want to take your wife out for a nice night, or you want to have a road trip, this is a great car. It's all the modern tech, heated seats, heated wheel, all the things you want. If you find yourself on a back road, incredibly fun, and I think your boys would love it too. So that is where I'm landing, is the BMW M235i.
Love it. Josh, thank you for your great email. Really appreciate it. And start your journey, autotempest.com/everyday. That's where a great place to start. And involve your boys. Topic Tuesdays, car conclusions, car debates, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com. John J. writes to us because he's in a pickle of what car to buy. He's owned his 2015 Mark 7 GTI for 9 years. He's been all over the U.S. with it. And he lived for 4 years in the fatherland when he was stationed in Germany. He lived just south of the Ring in a reasonable distance to all the world's best racetracks. He's had more than 100 laps doing Touristenfahrten on the Ring.
Love it.
Couple Spa track days, Hockenheim Ring, Zolder, Zandvoort. And he started feeling the need to get something more focused. But then John moved to South Dakota and ordered a GR86. He loves it, but it's a 6+ hour drive to the nearest track. And while he's got another move on the horizon, he's moving to a new base. So, John, we get the idea that you're in the military.
Seems clear, yeah.
And you want a truck and trailer to tow the GR86, which is the fun sports car, to your local track. So he's thinking at this point, it might be best to buy a truck.
Mm-hmm. He said he's towed before. He's driven a lot of trucks, being from South Dakota originally, but he's never seen himself as a truck person. Are you allowed to say that out loud? I'm just kind of curious, John. Can you say that publicly if you grew up in South Dakota? I'm very impressed. There are actually, watch our South Dakota road trip piece. We did 2,000 miles in the C8 and my Lotus Elise, and we went all the way across the northern end of Wyoming and wound up in the northwestern corner of South Dakota on truly some of the most surprising, best roads I've driven. So there is some great stuff in South Dakota, but again, your closest track is 6+ hours away. I'm curious, what track is it UMC where we are, or is it something that Lonnie services in the Midwest?
Or I wonder if it's Road America. South Dakota over to Road. Well,
I don't
have
know.
to go around.
I'm not sure. I'm very, very curious. I mean, theoretically, I see where you're going, but I'm very curious what the track is at 6.5 hours away. I'm wondering if HOD services it. Probably. But you're just thinking, do I have to be a truck person? That's what I read this as. Do I have to be a truck person to haul my sports car? Because you don't want to do, and I admit this, I understand, a 6+ hour drive in the GR86 to get to the track.
The problem that keeps him from diving headfirst into buying a truck is that he's never considered himself a truck guy, and the GTI's paid off, and his wife's Tiguan is plenty for road trips and winter driving.
Okay.
So, he's a Volkswagen guy.
Mm-hmm.
His budget for a truck is $50,000 to $55,000, but instead of a Sierra or a Tundra and a trailer, maybe he should just buy a trailer and rent a truck for the handful of times that he gets away to a track.
You have listened to this podcast. Bravo, man.
Yes. So right now he's looking at a BMW 330iX, the F chassis, or an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quad.
Love it.
And a trailer for about $5,000 to $8,000. So that will tow the GR86, and then money left over for mods and renting a truck 2 to 3 times a year.
So you bought an Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio, love it, and a trailer. You have the 86 waiting on track days. You'll rent a truck when you need it. Interesting. All right.
Or he says, wait a couple years and just get the trailer. He could keep his trusty GTI and blow out the budget for whatever wild cards that we call for later on. I've noted you're a Volkswagen guy, GTI and the Tiguan, but I'm scrolling back up in your email because you said you've got another move on the horizon to a new base somewhere. We don't know where.
He doesn't either, which means he might be close to a track.
Right, which leads me to my choices. John, you should sell the GTI. And I recommend that you drive the GR86 to whatever track you're going to go to in the future. We're hearing great things, actually, John, about Hoosier's new Track Attack Pro tire, which is a street-legal 200 treadwear tire designed specifically for track use for HPDEs. This is the balance between being street-legal and still being a nice 200 treadwear tire.
Yep.
Get some 18-inch wheels and the track attacks and drive the GR86. Because unless it's a dedicated track car, or unless it's only wearing slicks, or it isn't street legal, I say drive your car to the track. And in your situation right now, I don't want you to buy a truck and maybe a trailer, and then your situation changes. You move and suddenly you're close to a new track.
I think he has to do the move first. I agree with you.
Yes,
yeah.
But for right now, maybe you can find somebody on forums, or we don't know when this move is happening, but I feel like it's closer than you think. And once you move, I think the situation will change completely. So I say going through a set of tires is much cheaper than buying a truck or SUV for the future potential track day. Because again, what if you move closer to a track and you then don't need the trailer or the truck?
I agree.
Now you got a truck and
trailer. If he's going to move, I understand the 6+ hours in a GR86. That's loud and not fun. If it's just sawing miles. I mean, I'd do it, but you're going to have to wear the noise-canceling headphones and do all the things I do to survive in a lease. I get it. But if he's going to be 2 hours or less from a track after the move, then yeah, I agree with you. Just drive the GR86. I think that is an excellent point. I'm going to go through some usual suspects here, and then I'm going to wind up a place that kind of surprised me, a place I didn't expect to be. So let me jump in this real quick. You did bring up some great options here as actual sedans that you could buy and then get a trailer, rent a truck. I have to go the obvious place. The obvious sedan you brought up is the 3 Series. You can get a really nice 3 Series for you, but don't even spend your whole $50,000. Spend $35,000, $40,000. Get yourself a nice 3 Series. That's obvious. Of course, you brought up the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio. I can't take the opportunity enough to mention that car because it is wonderful. And of course, you brought it up, so I'm acknowledging it as excellent as well. Also, the Acura Integra Type S. This is a fantastic daily manual transmission. It's also a worthwhile dad car. You had it on your list. It deserves to be there. This is a great, great car that you could get new for your budget and love it. You don't have money left over for trailer, but it's a separate thing. But I actually solved the truck problem.
Oh, really?
I can't believe this. I solved the truck problem.
Really?
He's not a truck guy. He wants something more dynamic than a truck. But the reason to get a truck is to tow the GR86 on a trailer.
Yeah.
So the GR86 weighs less than 3,000 pounds. The trailer's going to weigh less than 1,000.
I'd say 1,500 tops.
Yes. So we need a 5,000 pound towing capacity. Most of your SUVs don't do it. And also you get into something that starts to be less fun. Okay? You don't want a truck, but you kind of feel like you need a truck. I've solved it.
Really?
You need to get yourself. Again, I stand with Paul. If you move, I think you should move, figure out where you're going to be. If you're less than 2 hours from the track, just drive the GR86. Get one of these fun sedans for your daily. Drive the GR86. Don't even get a truck. For whatever reason, I tasked myself with solving the truck problem, and I think I've done it.
Really?
The Santa Cruz tows 5,000 pounds. And what it isn't is a normal truck. When we drove this, the upper spec one, we were genuinely surprised at how nice it was inside and how much it didn't drive like a truck. And how surprisingly dynamic it was. And the biggest strike we had against it knew it was $40-something thousand, but by this point you could get a used one. And the bed was small. But he doesn't need a truck for normal truck things. He needs a truck for towing capacity.
Interesting.
These tow 5,000 pounds. And I think this is not fun, not going to go as far as fun, but this is an acceptable daily. When you're not towing.
It's not bad.
I think it's a decent daily. It doesn't give truck driving vibes. It doesn't feel nearly like that.
I mean, I like it for that reason.
It drives surprisingly dynamic and small. So but then when you need to hook up your trailer, 5,000 pounds worth of towing capacity in your Santa Cruz. Now, I don't recommend you move somewhere like the Rocky Mountains and you use it to haul up and down mountains. But if you're doing what I think you're doing, which is South Dakota flat road towing, all day long with this.
Although, get the turbo, but what's pricing on used Santa Cruzes these days?
Well, that's the thing. The new ones are within his budget. The new ones are like 45.
Yeah, new ones are
40,
45.
So the point is just get a little bit used one and go with the Santa Cruz. I've solved the truck problem you didn't know you needed. Even though I prefer the fun sedans, but Santa Cruz tows what you need, and then it becomes a good daily and a truck when you need it.
That's actually quite a solve. I think you've got it there for truck. I stood on my don't get the truck now because I think you'll get rid of it too soon.
I hear that.
And you're a Volkswagen guy, and I think you've extracted all there is out of that GTI. I think you know it inside and out. You said it's paid off, and you love Volkswagens, but I think it's time to step up to Audi. With an RS3 for $50,000 to $55,000, you have a choice of really late model RS3s. All day long. I went and checked on Auto Tempest. These cars are fantastic to drive, all-wheel drive. You can track them, even though I know you've got the GR86, but this is going to be your daily. And then when you do end up wherever you're going to live, you'll have an awesome daily that fits in with your Volkswagen love and the GR86, and you'll be close enough, hopefully, to a good track where Hooked on Driving has events. This is my solve for you. That's my top choice, but also the Integra Type S.
It's great.
So good.
It's really good.
It's such a fun car. So this is my other choice. Again, you could track this too. It's a Civic Type R in, with a little bit more leather, but again,
it's better.
This now ties in with your Japanese cars. You've got the Toyota, you've got the Acura. I think you'd like this a lot too. So you've got many choices. You've got both equations solved, I feel like. You've got both scenarios solved. This is what
we do here. This is exactly what we do here.
This is interesting. All right. Well, write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com for your car conclusions. We'd love to know what you bought.
We're going to run through some car conclusions pretty quick, but there's a question from Bruce B. it's like a brain worm for me right now. He's like, if we had unlimited budget and a warehouse for storage, how big would our car collection be? Now, I think if we could all be Jay Leno, we'd have Jay Leno's car collection. But I'm wondering, for a Topic Tuesday, maybe you and I do like our 12-car garage.
That's pretty good. That's a large collection.
Because I really feel like anything
size.
beyond 10, I would just not drive them. But what is our 12-car garage? Money, no object.
Ooh.
Space and maintenance, no object.
Ooh.
What's our 12-car garage? I'm kind of on my brain for later. We'll come back to it. Right now, we've got some car conclusions to run through. We got a couple of really good ones, but they are quick. Kevin's writing in Washington, and he had a soon-to-be driver in the house. This is quite a while ago. This was episode 959, so sometime last year or so. For her, he was considering an E36 M3 because he thought, okay, that sounds like a performance car, but only had 240 horsepower. In the modern time, it's not a big deal. His wife and daughter were looking around, and they wound up by getting her a 1986 E30 BMW, the E25 ES with a manual. He says, with the pokey inline-6 motor designed for fuel efficiency, and they all love it for her. She loves it. They love it. It doesn't have anti-lock brakes, traction control, or airbags, but it's done very well in real-life crash data, and she just loves it, and so do they. And he's realizing he's driven a Miata, and this car feels a lot like a Miata experience. So now he's wondering, should he get himself an M3 or maybe an E30 or who knows? He's just, what I like about this has reconnected you and your family, Kevin, to small, lightweight, simple. I mean, you thought
spawning ideas.
240 horsepower was going to be just enough. You went even less than that in the 86 325 E30, but those are so light and chuckable. That has to be crazy fun for her to drive.
That is cool. Second car conclusion from Matthew E. writes to us. He's 28 years old and a process engineer in Las Vegas. Thank you for writing, Matthew. Really appreciate it. He says he's been watching videos since 2012 when we released the FRS versus Genesis Coupe versus the Lotus Elise.
Love it.
He moved here to the U.S. from the Philippines with his wife. They're approaching 2 years living here this October. He's always been a car guy. In the Philippines, he drove a 1995 Honda Civic, the sedan, and he learned how to drive, fix, and love cars with having that particular car.
Okay.
He also drove a 2020 MG5 Alpha with the 1.5 and the CVT, that family car. He owns a couple of bikes. And now here in the U.S., he dailies a 2006 Toyota Avalon XLS with 189,000 miles.
When he got it, he keeps driving. Yeah.
He used to drive from Vegas to L.A. To visit family every month. He says it's a good road trip car. But then he got inspired by our budget sports car film, under 8K, under 8,000. He started to look at all those cars. He wanted an FRS or a BRZ, but didn't see anything in good condition or even at $10,000.
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of the ones that are that cheap, and there's a lot of them, they look like they've had hard lives.
They've been rode hard for sure. So after searching for months, he found an 07 Pontiac Solstice GXP in gray, 5-speed manual with 90,000 miles, one owner car with full service history for $8,000 in San Diego.
Come on now. That's an excellent buy. He said he flew to San Diego, he bought the car, drove it back to Vegas, instantly fell in love with it. He says it feels like a lot of car for $8,000, and his wife totally loves it. So he says, do we think he did well? I think you did excellent. That is a great choice. And will we do an under $8,000 sports car video again? What cars would we bring? We have a cheap car challenge video coming up for the end of the year. That's coming in December. We decided to go under 12, but we have a really cool comparison video coming up here in the next month or so. But Solstice GXP is underappreciated. We didn't even have the GXP on our shoot. We had the non-turbo. The turbo is excellent.
Yeah,
I love that you got that. That was a great buy.
One last question before we wrap up for this episode. Philip J. writes to us. He's asking about horsepower and track records. Do people normalize track records by the amount of horsepower a car has, or by some other index that is a combination of horsepower or torque and or weight, or something like time per horsepower? I mean, I feel like we could go on for hours about this, but I feel like people always need some sort of benchmark they understand. We've all driven a car and, okay, that has 200 horsepower. Okay, that has 400 horsepower. That has, and the level of acceleration, how you feel, how the car looks, the tires, all of that feeling, all of us start to get a sense of, wow, that's a fast car. And then when it comes to track records, we think, oh, well, for a track record with that much horsepower, either it wasn't really the driver, it was the car doing all the work because it has so much horsepower, or holy cow, a driver extracted that much and was that brave and had 1,000+ horsepower and set track records. Oh my gosh. We all have to have some sort of, we've related to horsepower. I know what horsepower feels like.
the two measurements that seem to be the most common are 0 to 60, which most people will never, ever do, and then ring time. Oh, and the other one is top speed, which most people will also never do. Right. So the three things that people won't do a really fast lap on the ring, go 0 to 60, and drive the car as fast as it can go. These are the things that we quantify by. I mean, your concept here, Philip, that people will actually categorize based on horsepower per weight or something like that, nobody cares. I hate to say it, nobody cares. All that they care about is how big is the number on the spreadsheet, or how small, depending upon which, like 0 to 60 number is really small because the horsepower number is really big. I realize our 0 to 60s are the same, but my horsepower is bigger than yours. Really? Really? I mean, we're all just, here's the thing. We're all playing
forums everywhere.
We're all playing car fantasy football. That's what we're all doing. We're just sitting there going, well, mine did better than yours because of, and our big thing here is go drive the fun thing and drive it well. And we make the joke every time. The guy at the track, at some point you will, if you pass a Miata, it's a victory because the Miata is probably going to pass you. That's the reality. I mean, it's all about the fun driving, and you can get the fun driving at any horsepower point. It's a big deal.
Fantasy track lap. Fantasy horsepower.
Yes, for sure.
I like all of this.
K Bliss has one question I want to cover real quick. You mentioned it in passing, and that is, have we seen the new Subaru STI hatchback teasers? Looks like it'll get some level of electrified and combustion engine. Now for the fun part, he's giving us a list. I love this. He says, pick two. Will it be the new STI? Japan only, CVT only, over $50,000 price tag, or entirely fake news? He says he really hopes Subaru gets a win. K Bliss, here's the problem. Subaru has so much of a reputation, it's become cliche that they show a really cool concept, and then the actual car comes out and we go, that's okay, but did you not see your own concept? And many times you look at the concept next to the real car and you go, but it's not that far away. You could have done that. It's not like the concept flew and then the actual car is like, it's a real car. The concept looks like they took the real thing and then just went crazy one night. So it's like, why didn't you do that? Subaru, it's a cliche at this point, how many times they've done it. I think it won't look like the teasers. That's the first problem. It probably will be $50,000. And I'll be very surprised if it doesn't have a CVT option. Not only, but option. I don't suspect it will be Japan only. It'll have to be a worldwide car.
It will have to be. Sports cars don't generally fit Subaru's product lineup anymore.
True.
I mean, they've got the WRX, the STIs in their past. They've got it. And we would welcome that.
Yeah, for sure.
But generally speaking, you look at the Subaru website and it's just SUVs and underpowered and and then there's not fun, fast sports car driving.
Here's the BRZ over here going, what am I doing here?
There's an outlier. And of course, we're hearing the rumors too. You've probably read the articles, seen the rumors that the BRZ, the Toyota Fuji Heavy Industries relationship is dissolving, maybe going towards Mazda.
We'll see.
And that would be the future GR86 plus Mazda mashup, which makes a lot of sense. Those are unfounded rumors. We're just
hugely unfounded.
We hear things just like you do, but we'll see, because you look at the lineup and the BRZ is like, what is that doing there on the product lineup?
We were at a Toyota event this past week, and the source that said the Mazda Toyota partnership to do a new Miata and 86, this sounds like a Reddit idea that found its way onto a news article, and it is that level of shady too. So there's that going on. So somebody actually had the wherewithal to ask somebody very high up at Toyota. We were sitting at dinner with him. Somebody very happy at Toyota, who we like. He's a great guy. They asked him if he would like to confirm or deny that it was Mazda and Toyota getting together to make this. And he gave the world's greatest smile and said, oh, yeah, I read that article too. So even Toyota is like, are you kidding? So we'll see what reality is. But I don't think the STI is going to look like the teaser. That's the sad part.
So you're just saying Subaru continues to tease us with awesome stuff that doesn't fit in their portfolio, will never be built. And when it finally comes out, the world will collectively go,
I would love for them to prove us wrong. I would love it.
I
would love
that.
for them to have a new STI that it drops and we all go, where's everybody else? Mitsubishi, Toyota, where's your car to compete with this? Because this is super cool. I want that very much for Subaru.
Agreed. All right. Well, we're stop there. We'll end the podcast there. Thank you guys for all your questions. Thank you for your social media questions. We've got a few we'll get to for the next episode.
For sure, yeah.
And we'll continue with our lists, continue with the car debates, and of course, car conclusions. Write to us, everydaydrivertv@gmail.com, and go to hookedondriving.com to find a track day near you. And by the end of 2025, schedules are going to be starting to be posted for next year's dates. So watch each region
excited
for cool schedules. We're hearing all of the regions are starting to populate their schedules for 2026. It's going to be an incredible year.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to it, and looking forward to next time as always. Cheers, everyone.